Hi guys, Purple Plant Lady here again. I'm in the front of my house, and I just wanted to give you guys a little tour of my outside plants. Here I just have some baby basil I was trying to grow, and one of my New Guinea impatiens was just stopped blooming for a while, and just all I had was foliage, and didn't understand what that was about. If you guys know what that's about, you can let me know, and I'd really appreciate it. And here's some bigger basil. I had to put some netting over that because the birds, I think, were eating that. Some purple basil and some sweet basil and a little bit of rosemary in there. And then down here we have my heucheras. There's butterfly. Okay. This is the wild plum heuchera, prima wild rose heuchera, and I put them all along the walkway here. Just ignore if you see the weeds. I haven't weeded. But let me tell you a little bit about the development of this. This is a little project that I did. It was just lawn. There was no flower bed, and I did not want to do a lot of digging because I was just having some health issues, and I didn't want to do a lot of digging. So all I did was I saw a video on YouTube where one of the I think it was a horticulturalist or someone who knows a lot about plants. They talked about the no dig way of creating a flower bed. So I just lined this area that you see here with newspaper, and then what I did was just put some soil on top, some basic potting soil, like for containers. I didn't put garden soil. I put potting soil down, and then I planted some. As you see, I planted these, what do you call these again? These are bungleweed. This was the Burgundy glow bungleweed. It was really small. It was like a fraction of this that I planted, and also the wild rose heuchera, the purple. And then I put the lamps down, and I finally put mulch, and I edged it with that little plastic edging. But yeah, the bungleweed, when I put it down, it was so scary. I put it down in March, and it was kind of cold March this year, and it looked like wilted spinach. It was so bad. I thought they all were going to die, but I figured out that they needed more water, and so I watered them a little bit more with the hose instead of with my watering can, and they did better. And then when we had a whole bunch of rain this season, this one right here, let me show you, I'll get closer to it. In particular, this one with the pretty burgundy leaves and green, and there's a weed growing up right here. I need to take that out because that's not good. But that's the only thing about when you do some no dig gardening, you will have to contend with weeds. Now the bungleweed is supposed to keep the weeds down, but their mint is very persistent, and that's what that was. But anyway, like I was saying, the Burgundy glow bungleweed is mat forming, and I thought they were going to die. They look really bad. All of them were starting to get really, really shriveled and look like limp spinach, and I was really concerned. But then they just blossomed after the really heavy rains, and I got these, and like you see, I didn't dig anything, and I was concerned because I thought you had to dig a hole to put these heuchera in, but I didn't do that either. I just put the edging on and added the soil, and then just built the soil up, and they took root. As you can see, they're doing well. They're doing their mounding habit. And these right here, these are okay. This one right here is a wild plum heuchera. These are called stainless steel heucheras, and they looked awful when I first put them down. They were horrible. They didn't have but like looked like 5 leaves, and now look at it. It's looking really much better since the rain, and then underneath the leaves are so pretty. They really are taking root. This one is still trying to catch up a little bit. It's a little bit smaller than the other one, but all of the bungleweed is doing well. You can see how small these are. The small ones are still kind of small, but they're definitely better than before. This is not I forget what this is called. I think this is called a smoothie, a pink smoothie or something. It's not the wild plum, because it took me a while sometimes they were out, and as you can see, there's a hole right here where I need to put the one that's on the step. I'm going to put that there. Yeah, it's over there. I'm just waiting for that one to grow a little bit bigger before I put it down. And also over here, I wanted to do some window boxes, but unfortunately, um, I didn't want to add any drill any holes under the windows and have to get a ladder to do that because I'm pretty short. So I got these online, these planters, and I just planted some. My husband's best friend gave us some of these beautiful, I think these are, I want to say petunias, if I'm not mistaken. I think these are petunias. And if I'm wrong, just let me know. So I planted them there, and then I put these New Guinea impatiens right here, and these things drove me crazy. When I first got them, they were the most temperamental things. I think they went into shock. The leaves had turned shriveled and brown. Like you can see, they were all, most of the leaves were like this one right here. And the whole leaf would shrivel up, and still, you can see underneath there, they're like that. Some of them are like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, did it get, diseased? But I think it was just in shock, and it didn't have enough water, and it was too hot. And because these get partial shade, but it's in the afternoon sun, because it's in the front of our house, and we get the afternoon sun over here. So the tree shades it for most of the afternoon, but in the beginning it was really, really hot. So the leaves are burning, and when I first got these whole bushes were covered in these beautiful blossoms. But now it's just like they decide when they want to, and you see, basically I feel like I'm growing foliage. But if you guys can tell me what I'm doing wrong, I mean, I put bloom fertilizer on it, and as you can see, it's still looking like mostly foliage. The petunias are blooming more than the impatiens. So I don't know if it's too hot. And then let me show you over here under this tree. I have decided that I'm going to put hold on one second. I'm going to pause for a moment. For this tree, like I was saying, I'm going to put an edge just like the one. I think I'm gonna put the edging that we put over there around the tree, because that one can curve around the tree, and I'm gonna fill up with a little bit of soil and plant either the begonia right there that was doing horrible in the house, but now it's flourishing. I don't know if you can see, it's happier out here. It was like one little stalk with like 5 blossoms, and now it's really grown in that pot. And then I have some hellebores that, they're out of bloom now, but that I'll put under there, and maybe some hostas. And nothing grows over here, as you can see over there, because there's a lot of water runs off down there, and the grass isn't growing, so I don't know what to do with that area yet. But yeah, this is our front yard, and imagine there was nothing here. It was just some grass and just nothing. Nothing was under there. These are this is the new edging that we put down. It's just a faux stone edging, but with a lot of petunias. And some, what do you call these things? I forget what they're called. I know that they're related to the carnation family. Dianthus. Dianthus. And I have started, but I haven't bought any more black mulch. I'm going to put black mulch around it, a little bit of black mulch. So I just wanted to show you some of the outdoor plants that I had that were also not all green, because I want to have some purple out here and some burgundy and some just different colors. And it's not hard. It wasn't difficult at all. In fact, some people were saying you had to wait a year when you put the newspaper down before you could plant anything. But I literally put the newspaper down, put the dirt down, and then planted the plants. Maybe that's why they were a little bit stressed, but they took off. Because what I did was the little burgundy glow bungleweeds. They weren't rooted very deeply. They were small plants when I did the baby plants, and so they didn't need a lot of roots and not a lot of soil. So I had the soil layer, and then I just planted them in the soil layer on top of the newspaper, and they took root. And then later on I got the bigger ones, the bigger plants. So this is just a little bit of outside planting that I decided to try my hand at, because like I said, I'm an amateur, and just wanted to see if I could beautify our front lawn a little bit. I'm going to go into the back later on. I think next year I'll tackle that, because our yard is huge, and it's full of trees and grass, and I want to do some flower beds back there too. So if you have any ideas for what else I could do, or any suggestions, please let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon.